Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar, which is a very, very important webinar for us. It's the last webinar of our inspirational series in March. And today we are going to have a spectacular presentation, but I'm not going to be the person who is going to introduce this lady. For that, we have our moderator, which is our Director of the Americas, Gladys Drexel, who I welcome and I also thank for being here supporting us in this closing of our inspirational series. Gladys, good morning for you, and thank you for being here. The stage is
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks, Ideli, for giving us the opportunity to share and to collaborate. It's really an honor. And well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. In Mexico, it's bright and early, and I know in Africa, in South Africa right now, it's the afternoon, and in Riyadh, it's later on in the afternoon. So I'm really thrilled to be here. And today we have a fantastic event. We have a fantastic something, unique, and I mean, the one and only Monica Brown. And let me share with you, hold on just a moment. Let me share the document so we can start. And let's see. Okay, let's see. Well, the topic of today's webinar that we have, it's women play a key role in social impact worldwide. And the woman that can share that so gracefully and so passionately and so transformative, it's Monica Brown, obviously. And it's really great. I mean, Monica has an amazing curriculum. Let me just move here so I can read the information. Monica, it's so many things, and today it's a very special day for her. She will explain. Monica is a proud South African, and she is the architect of transformation. And obviously, you can feel it, you can see it, you can hear it. She's also the CEO of South Africa Screen and CRW Digital Media Group. Wow. She's so many things. She has so many hats. And her mission is to equip leaders, particularly women, to move beyond intention and to become catalysts for real world change. And she does that on a daily basis. And she's a transformational leadership coach, also a speaker and a media maven, and she brings unique blend of strategic vision and practical tools to help you amplify your voice, to navigate and really solve challenges, and to build a legacy that matters. She didn't write it here, but she's also an author. Wow. And she has written, I don't know if 7 or 9 books, and it's wow. When I was reading that, I said, what a woman, okay? And why is she making this presentation? She thinks that the potential for women, it's so important to reshape the world, is immense. And the time to fully step into their power is now. So the moment is now, and the woman, we are ready to really shape the world, right? And it's a time to fully step into their power, obviously now. And we're not just participants, we're not just observers in the social impact. We are the drivers, like Monica was saying this morning. And she will be providing you with insights and inspiration to fuel your journey and to empower you to lead the unwavering purpose and to create individually lasting transformation, guided by our president and founder, Ideli. So, well, ladies and gentlemen from around the world, now let me present you the one and only Monica Brown. Monica, we give you a hug, we give you all our love, and we're here to support you in this amazing mission. Congratulations, lots of love, and you're ready to start anytime. I will be guiding and helping with you with the slides. Okay. Welcome, Monica. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and good morning, midday. I'm not too sure who's from where, but welcome, everybody. That was quite an intro. And I wrote that, and actually the way you were reading it, it's actually strange. I leave a lot of things out because I don't want to put too many things there for people. You know, people need to get to know me through what I do, not to what they hear about me. They need to see what I do. Everybody, thank you for being here. We have got a few house rules while we're waiting for others to come in. Just some, you know, one of the things I would love you to do is just to please turn off your camera and your microphone. Also, remember to type your questions in the chat box, and we'll have a question and answer session later when I'm done with the presentation. And without further ado, I need to share a very important message with you today. Today is the anniversary of an incident where I almost lost my life. Today, 7 years ago, 7 years ago, my ex-partner decided that he wanted to end my life. And he literally drove at high speed into the back of a bus. And by God's grace, I do not know how I forgot about that day. But I think I was so busy preparing for the presentation that I actually forgot about it. But I can clearly say that me being here today, there's a bigger meaning. There's a higher purpose for me to be here, to even bring a message like this, because I was not supposed to be here. And it took me back to a time in my life from birth where I realized that I was never supposed to be here. I was born 15 years later than the others. I was born when my mother was about to leave my dad. I was never the first choice of anyone. I was always the alternative, but never the first choice. But with what happened to me on the 27th of March, so many years ago, I realized that I was here for a purpose. And that is why I'm here today, to actually share this message with you. So thank you very much for this floor. I just had to get that off my chest so that we can move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica. We're here to support you, okay? You're the first one, and you are important, okay?
I would like to, before I start the presentation, I would like just to say thank you to Adeli and the team for allowing me to have this talk. Guap Halita, I was practicing how to pronounce it properly the whole time because it's very difficult to say. You know, the entire inspirational series was so incredible. Whenever I had an opportunity of all the ones that I missed, I literally went there and I listened to all the different talks. I couldn't listen to the Arabic ones and the one in Spanish and so on, but the ones that I could understand, I went in there and it was amazing. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity that I could close this today, you know. And then I want to say thank you to every king and queen present with us today. Thank you for being here. You are absolutely in the right place. And we love having you here. And then to everybody else that is still going to come, you know, I'm a person that believes in saying thank you for things that's not even there yet. And then before we also go further, I just want to ask the following from you. Let us open not just our ears today, but our hearts and our minds. Let us find our center. Let us embrace the raw, authentic truth of who we are. Because I believe with every fiber in my being that after this conversation, your past will be revealed as the chrysalis that served its purpose perfectly. Your present It will become the sacred ground where you consciously choose to align in reality. And your future? That, my friend, will be the dynamic, explosive program you are writing in real time. Let's begin. The agenda for today is very dynamic. I looked at different angles and how I was going to approach this. And one of the things that came up that I wanted to do was I wanted to point out that women are powerful agents for social change. In that part, I'm going to explore women's vital role in driving global social progress from ancient times to the present, highlighting their innate strengths, unique cultural perspectives, and movements. That's a very important part, that we know this, it's not coming from today, but it's from ancient times. There was a woman that was making an impact. Second part will deal with women leading across diverse sectors. We will look at, we'll examine women's leadership in critical areas, whether in gender equality, environmental stability, education, health, and global conflict resolution. We'll also address both the challenges they're facing and the transformative impact of their leadership. This section will delve into the systemic barriers and social norms that hinder women's progress, while also showcasing their resilience and innovative approaches, including their contributions to technology and inventions. The third part of our talk will be about intersectionality and equitable impact. I always struggle with this word, forgive me, I'm a bit nervous today. Understanding how factors as ethnicity, class, sexuality, disability, and cultural identity intersect to shape women's experiences, and why addressing these intersections is crucial for creating greater social impact. This section will emphasize the need to move beyond a one-size-fits-all approach. And then the last part of our talk will be about women's resilience in the face of challenges. We will celebrate women's remarkable resilience, determination, and innovative problem solving in overcoming obstacles such as gender discrimination, denied access to resources, health and personal safety concerns. And we will also highlight strategies for individual and collective empowerment. I know this is a mouthful, but I had to give you an idea what's coming. So without further ado, Gladys, we can go over to the first part. The first part, as I said, illustrate women as powerful agents for social change. You will see the pictures that I have in my presentation. This is me in different spaces, different places, doing what I do best, social change. But you can see, yeah, I was at a university. There, I'm with another group at the same university, but you can see with the one section, I'm with academics, lecturers. With one section, I'm with stakeholders and different people. And what I wanted to show you in that particular slide was that you should not conform yourself or hold yourself back to move into spaces and places where you can actually be part of the bigger picture. It is a very important thing to remember, because many of us, if we are in a specific area of expertise, we just want to keep it there. But this is what we need to change. And this is what these photographs that I'm sharing with you basically visualize. The next one, Gladys. The next one, you will see that I participate in different events. On the one side, I will be where I'm involved in an awareness campaign. On the other one, I'll be in a webinar talking about women as change agents in Africa, where I'm addressing younger women in Africa and actually showing them how important it is to be change agents. The other one, you will see me with a group of people where we were having discussions about women in aviation and how women can actually become part of the process of being more involved in the aviation sector. The other one, I'm at a sports event where I am looking at gender-based violence in sport, and I'm addressing communities in the sport about certain things. But what I was basically saying to you, the last picture in that slide, I'm in a church. So what I'm trying to show you through these photographs is that even though I have one message, and my message is that women are powerful, they are resilient, they are game changers, and they are life. I'm carrying it over to different spaces and places. Look where I am today. I'm speaking to a community very, very far from here, and also local people that tuned in. So this is a lesson in itself. And that is why I looked for all the different things that I did last year. And I was very much surprised at where I ended up speaking and people hearing my voice and hearing my message. And that is what transformation is all about. Being able to adapt your skill set and share it with a wider audience. Okay, if we go further, you will see I specifically took that image of a group of people, diverse group of people, because throughout history, women have been at the forefront of driving social progress worldwide, bringing their innate strengths, a rich array of unique cultural perspectives, and a powerful force for change within social movements. To truly honor this legacy and shape a more equitable future, it's essential to not only acknowledge, but actively support and empower their ongoing contributions. That is why I'm here. I am supporting Adeli because we're also co-authors of a book that we wrote together. So I'm here to support, and that is actively supporting her in what she's doing. Okay, that slide, the next slide, gives you a historical perspective. And what I did was I did a timeline of women's influence. And you know, like in anything that we do, a timeline is always important because it tells you where you were and where you are currently. So if you look at the first part of that slide, I looked at women's influence in the antique times or historical times. And what really stood out for me was, if you read it, because this presentation will be made available to you. If you look at it, it shows you that from the earliest periods of human history, women have been agents of change, demonstrating power and influence even within or against the constraints of their societies. We find examples of powerful female rulers who shaped the political landscapes of their time, wielding authority and leaving lasting legacies. And equally important are the countless women who led resistance movements, challenged societal norms or advocated for social justice within their communities, often without formal power. And one example of this for me is the indigenous woman resisting colonization. When I looked at it, it's very, very powerful. Remember, these people didn't have power. They literally had nothing, but they fought, they fought, they fought. And it's crucial to recognize that women's agency in the, in the olden time, or in the antique or the historical times, was not uniform. It varied significantly across cultures and time periods. And then if you just move to the other part of the slide, not the next slide, the second part of the same slide. You can just see there. Gladys, if you can just bring it for me, down for me. If you look at the second part, we are looking at the 18th and the 19th century. And there we are witnessing the growth of organized women's movements, making a shift towards collective action and advocacy. These movements focus now on a range of interconnected issues. Now, issues had names. They evolved. They became known. We started calling it what it was supposed to be called. And what stood out for me was, one of the things was the fight for political rights, demanding women's inclusion in decision-making processes and all that. And then the abolition of slavery, with women playing key roles in the fight against this inhumane institution. Also, we have examples of temperance and societal reform addressing issues like poverty, inequality, and social injustice. And you can see all the ladies that I have there. The pictures that I could find of them was literally just what was depicted. There was no real pictures. It just shows you how long ago it was, and the time frame. At that time, they didn't really have all these cameras and things that we have now to depict whatever was going on. But one thing about this period was that this period laid the foundation for future feminist movements and expanded the scope of women's activism. So you can see that from very, very long time ago, it evolved. And you will see in the next slide, which stands out for me, we are now looking at the 20th century and beyond. And we can actually say that that activism expanded, you know. So women's activism in the 20th and 21st centuries had continued to evolve and expand, addressing an even wider range of social issues on a global scale. Women are not only reacting to the world, they are actively reshaping it. And the areas that we are focusing on in this presentation, I will go through them one by one. One of the areas that stood out for me was environmental protection and climate justice. Women are leading the fight against climate change, often drawing on indigenous knowledge and advocating for sustainable practices that protect both people and the planet. And there's a lady in India, which I found, Vandana Shiva from India. She's a physicist, environmental activist, and an anti-globalization author. And she's challenging industrial agriculture and promoting ecological farming. It's amazing. I mean, really, I didn't even think when I went through all these things, when I did research, I was shocked at what I came across. And then there was a lady in the United States, Winona LaDuke, and she's also an environmentalist. And please, after this presentation, when you have time, go and look up these ladies. I purposefully didn't put pictures of them. Purposefully. Because remember, a picture distracts you from what you actually are looking at. So none of these ladies that I'm talking about, it was only the one from the historical times that I had pictures that I got. None of the others will have pictures. So, and I actually found somebody in your country, Gladys. I can't pronounce the name. Maybe you can help me there. Bastida is the surname. And she's in Mexico. And it's climate justice activist and a member of the indigenous Otomi Toltec Nation.
In which part are you? Oh, it's CJ Bastida. CJ Bastida. That's her name. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually found, and I'm so happy that you're from that part, you could help me. But what I'm saying is, I was trying to give a global picture of women across the globe that is actually doing what they're doing in their areas of expertise. Okay, so then we move to food sustainability and security. Women are working to ensure access to nutritious food for all, promoting sustainable agriculture and challenging corporate control of food systems. You know, food sustainability and food security is one big issue, especially in Africa. And I was so happy when I found somebody also doing it in the United States. Her name is Frances Moore Lapay. I hope I pronounce it properly. Author and advocate for world hunger solutions that address the root causes of poverty and inequality, emphasizing food democracy. That's beautiful to hear, food democracy. So from food, we are moving now way to housing and land rights, a big issue across the world. So women are fighting for equitable access to housing and land, recognizing these as fundamental human rights and challenging discrimination. I hate this word, to be very honest, dislike the word, because in South Africa, you always hear about discrimination. So I will pass that word for now, policies. And we found somebody in Palestine. And Shireen Abu Shad. She's an architect and activist working on housing rights and urban development in marginalized communities, particularly concerning displacement and access to resources. So imagine you're in Palestine. You have to deal with a lot more than this. But still, as a woman, you are focused and you are fighting for this particular cause. There's also a lady in the United States, Priscilla Alexander. She's an activist and organizer for housing rights and tenants' rights, particularly for low-income communities and people of color. That's amazing, because in the United States, people think these things are not happening, but they are. So just looking at those three focus areas that I looked at, these are things that matter. We are not talking here about things that doesn't matter. These are things that are affecting us daily. And as we move on, we look at entrepreneurship and economic empowerment, one of the things that I'm very passionate about. And we see there that women are driving economic growth and innovation through entrepreneurship, creating businesses that address social needs and empower communities. And there's a lady in the United States, Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, demonstrating women's innovation in business and challenging traditional norms. I am also doing the same thing because I run a social business, you can call that. South Africa Scream is a GBV consultancy. And literally what I do, 40% of every money that I make goes towards the programs that I support. So that is also a social business, just to give an example. And then we move to social justice and human rights. Women are at the forefront of movements for social justice, challenging systemic inequalities based on race, class, gender, sexuality, and other factors. And one amazing organization, when I looked at it, Black Lives Matter, the movement, are basically run by these ladies, Alicia Garza, Patrice, I can't see the surname so clearly, and Opal Tometi. But you need to, guys, you need to, and ladies, you need to go look these people up. I just put them all together in one slide so that I could just have all the information together. But you need to make time to go and actually look them up. You know that the Black Lives Matter movement is a very important movement in America. And these ladies are basically advocating for racial justice and an end to systemic racism and violence, which is a very, very important issue. And also, then we also have a very young lady in Pakistan. I think we all know her. And one thing that stood out about this young girl, I just want to stop there with her for a moment, is that girls' education for many people might not be important. But if I look back today at myself, if I didn't have education, I was not going to be anywhere. Honestly speaking. So I take my head off to Malala. I take my head off to her because she's an activist for girls' education. And she's a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. I mean, she's advocating for the right to education for all girls. That is so noble. I mean, really, coming from a country like Pakistan, honestly speaking, you would have thought that she would come from a country, or a fight like that would come from a country like the United States or the United Kingdom. But it comes from a place where they could see the impact of girls not having an education. And that's one of the most important things. That when I look at all these ladies, if we move further, we look at healthcare, access, and equity. Women are working to improve access to quality healthcare, particularly for marginalized communities, and advocating for reproductive rights and health justice. And the doctor, Nawal El-Saadawi, is from Egypt. So this is a feminist writer, activist, and a physician who wrote extensively on women's health, female genital mutilation, and women's rights in the Arab world. So when you look at all this, even when you move further, you look at education. If you look at all the countries where all these ladies are coming from, if you look at the education and empowerment, we have Dr. Sylvia Tamale in Uganda, who is a feminist legal scholar and activist advocating for women's rights and gender equality in education and society. All these ladies coming from countries that you would never expect them to come from. And this is what's happening now. We are in the 21st century. We are here. So when you look at all this, before we move to the next slide, when you look at all this, you ask yourself, what am I doing in my community as a woman What am I standing for? What is my beliefs? What mattered to me? What is my why? Why do I wake up in the morning? That is something that I need you to think about. If you look at all these ladies, Egypt, India, Palestine, Afghanistan, these are women that is not having it easy. They are in spaces and places where things are not okay, but they are still doing their part. We can move to the next slide, Gladys. Then I'm just quickly going to briefly go over everything. So what I'm saying is that, as I was explaining to you now, we have global impact, local action, and women bridging worlds. And this is exactly what we're doing here today. We are women that took our unique ability to connect, brought in international movements with the specific needs and realities of their communities. And this presentation of mine highlights that women are not just influenced by global trends, but are also active agents in shaping them, creating change from the ground up. We are driving change from the ground up. And that's important for me. Very, very important. I'm the type of woman, when I wake up in the morning, the devil says, hell, she's awake. And that is the type of woman that we need to drive this change, to know who they are, to know where they're going to not be distracted by the world, but to be focused and to stay in line with what they want to achieve. I'm not going to go through all of this at the moment, Gladys, if you can just move for me to the next slide. Okay. So what I am saying to you, I'm going to give you a few examples about what I've been talking about now. And I'm going to take my own country as an example. In South Africa, the anti-apartheid struggle, women played a pivotal role in organizing resistance, mobilizing communities, and sustaining the movement despite facing brutal repression. I was born in that time. I know what I'm talking about. I was part of the struggle. And their local activism was crucial to achieving broader political change. And also across the globe, women are at the forefront of community development and empowerment initiatives, like the one where we are today. Adele is running a movement. She's on the move, making changes, connecting people, bringing issues to the forefront. And these efforts, while local in scope, contribute significantly to global progress on key development goals. So these examples that I just gave you demonstrate the vital role women play in connecting the global to the local, driving change that is both impactful and sustainable. So you can see there I am walking with a lady from the UK, and they are in the aviation sector. So what I'm saying is that even though I'm not a pilot, doesn't stop me from going into the aviation sector, trying to push the narrative that women can also do the same job. And that we can actually also be part of what is happening out there. So in a world where we are grappling with unprecedented challenges, from climate change, social inequality to global health crises and political instability, women's leadership is not just valuable, it's essential. Because remember, we as women, we come with a unique blend of empathy, collaboration, resilience, and we focus on sustainable solutions, precisely what we need to navigate these complexities and forge new pathways towards a more just and thriving world. What I love about women, even though some of us can't get along, what I love about women, when we need to move, we move. And if we've discussed today, we are going to do that, we are moving. The one won't pull that side and that side. When we have reached consensus that we're going to do something, we do something. And we can see that in our families, we can see it in our communities, that when women made up their mind, they are completely on the move. And the sectors that I chose today to specifically zoom in, Gladys, you can move the sectors that I'm looking at. But before we go to that, there's one thing we need to do. We need to acknowledge the struggle. And we need to confront the barriers to women's leadership. So that particular slide, when you read through it, you will see that I am addressing the historical erasure and misrepresentation of women's contributions. I'm acknowledging it. And after that, I'm discussing systemic and institutional barriers. And after doing that, I examine cultural and social norms that hinder women's leadership. I want you to read through that slide on your own. Because for me to say it to you wouldn't make sense. The next one, we're looking at the transformative power of women's leadership, the catalyst for a better world. And it is exactly the things that I spoke about earlier, our empathy, compassion, focus on long-term solutions, collaboration and connection, resilience and perseverance. Those are the things that these qualities that we bring in our uniqueness to the table, make sure that things happen. You can move to the next slide. And then I looked at women shaping our world, the pioneers of technology. I just had to share this with you guys. You know that the person that revolutionized wireless technology, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS was a woman. Can you imagine? She was a woman. The one that played a pivotal role in developing the birth control pill. Funny enough, that's a technology that impacted profoundly on women's health. And also the fact that we didn't have to have more children than what we were supposed to. Not like our mothers in the past that didn't have this contraceptive medication available to them. And then also the person that came up with touch tone telephone, fiber optic cables and all that. Literally a woman. Can you imagine? Then if you even look at, you know, the wipers on your car? Yeah, the person that invented the wiper on your car when it's raining was also a woman. Then we've got the person that invented the modern central heating systems. She was a woman. The one that invented the electric refrigerator, which is so important for food preservation. It's a woman. The one that created the first home security system, pioneering innovations in safety and security, a woman. So really tell me, are we not dynamic? Are we not amazing creatures? And then also we've got the first Hispanic woman to go to space, Ellen Ochoa. I hope I did it correctly.
Yes,
I mean,
you did. Yes.
Amazing. Can you imagine? Who would have imagined even a woman of color, but Hispanic? You know, indigenous women out there making differences. That's amazing. So I just had to share that with you, that we overlook these things that's surrounding us and things that we are using daily, and we don't know that a woman invented them. Okay, if you go to the next one, we are looking at Black women leading the tech revolution, right? All of the names are there, where companies they are associated with, etc., etc. And I'm telling you, it is an amazing list. Take your time, go through it, Google them, and you will see what they are actually doing out there. You can move to the next slide for me. Okay. Yeah, and then the next slide, I look at these achievements of the women, but I also looked at all the things that they are significantly still have to face daily in the tech industry, you know. So there I just gave you an idea about the underrepresentation in STEM, the gender bias in the tech culture, lack of funding and support for women tech startups and innovations. And there was something very interesting that I came across, and it was called the leaky pipeline, where women leave the tech industry at higher rates than men due to factors such as lack of support, work-life balance challenges, and hostile work environments. And that to me stood out. I just had to share that with you. Go through it and you will, some of you can even align and see it in the people that you know that in the tech industry and align yourself with that. You can do the next one for me. Okay, there I looked at how we can create a future of equity call to action. I basically said to build a truly innovative and equitable tech sector, we must take decisive action. So I looked at all the things that we can do, can't do, and I looked at how we can promote STEM education for girls and women, create inclusive and equitable workplaces in the tech industry, support women entrepreneurs and innovators in tech, and challenge bias and discrimination. And one of the things that I do, I amplify women's voices. And that is one of the most important things. We need to start creating platforms and opportunities for women in tech to share their experiences, insights, and leadership, increasing their visibility and influence. The next one, we looked at intersectionality and equitable impact. And basically, this is a very crucial thing for me because women's experiences are not monolithic. They are richly diverse and shaped by the complex interplay of various social identities. So when you look at women, what is not working for me might work for Gladys. What is not working for Gladys might work for Adele. So that particular section of the presentation is about that. So take your time, go through it. I made that one particularly about my voice because it was 20 women that wrote one book and all their stories are together. So it showed you that everybody had a different thing. You can move, Gladys. Okay, all the slides that follow here is about intersectionality and equitable impact. You can move for me to the slide about women in conflict because I'm just watching our time as well. Okay.
There?
Yeah, this one, yeah. There I'm talking about women's resilience in the face of challenges. If you can see, I have pictures of women that is in situations where there's conflict, war. And most of the time we forget about them. Do you know that? We forget about these women that is actually going through such harsh conditions, challenging and facing so much on a daily basis. And in the next slide, you will see that I am pointing out something. I gave you a friend of mine, Namatama Sakabilu. She's from Zambia. And this woman works in conflict areas. And you can see how she's walking with the army, working with all the work that she's doing. And she's a gender specialist. She just worked in the GBV space and fighting for women in these conflict areas. And what I did from my side, I've given her a platform on my radio station, CRW Radio, to talk about gender in conflict in Africa. And this is her show, where she actually shares with us all this information. Wow. The next slide, you can look at, that is myself, where I'm showing you where I talk on GBV and what I do. All the different stages and places, because remember, Community and domestic conflict GBV is also part of women that is facing conflict on a daily basis. So there you can see all the places where I go, what I talk about, etc., etc. You can go to the next slide, Gladys. So what I'm saying is that the strategy that I'm using, because remember I'm sharing my strategy, is that I'm creating strong support networks and a community of solidarity. Like now, I started a program called GB Watch, the GBV Watch program in South Africa, which will be running in Africa too, where I am questioning certain policies, challenging certain things that's in place there. I have CRW Radio, where I have different programs addressing the issues of what society grapples with, what women are grappling with, etc. And then I have CRW News as well, which is a media platform where I am posting articles daily about issues that affect women globally. You can go to the next one, the call to action. So today I want us to think about what we're going to do next. I want us to think about what is the next step that we're going to take. Because when you empower women, you transform the world. When you invest in a woman, you invest in the future of a community. So today, my call to action for you is that we must actively empower women in the boardroom, in the classroom, in parliament, in the community centers, in laboratories, in the kitchen. We must support them. And together, we can build a world where every woman has the opportunity to thrive, to lead, and to shape a more just and sustainable future for all. Thank you. The next one, I think, is the last one. Yeah, so in closing, I just want to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for being here today, making time. Your presence and your engagement have made this a truly meaningful experience. I'll still see the questions now. I encourage you to embrace your authentic voice, step into your power, and become the architect of transformation in your own life. Please connect with me. My website is there. And yes, that's the end of my presentation. I'll make it available to everybody. So Gladys, you've got the floor.
Yes, well, wow. It's really no words. I mean, you are the one. You are amazing, and your webinar has been outstanding. I mean, and the call to action. I mean, you have been receiving hearts and hands and lots of love throughout the day. And congratulations. And I let's see the questions. Let's see, let me go up here. Hold on. Let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to, but it doesn't go up here. Let's see. There we go. Let's see if we have any questions. Welcome everyone. Let's see. Let me see if we have any.
Meanwhile, can I just have a word here?
Certainly, Ideli.
Thank you so much. Well, first of all, Monica, I just want to congratulate you for such fantastic presentation. Really, I can stay here for hours listening to you. Really. I mean, it's very clear that you printed your soul here, your heart, with amazing research, fantastic information. And I don't know you guys, but today you made me feel more proud of being a woman, really. You made me feel so more proud of being a woman in being so to make me feel that I am in the right direction of being an agent of change for the community. And I just would like to say a couple of things here that Monica has drove us not only through her personal experience, through her personal story, but also has just raised her voice to make this global call to really use our skills, right? To really use our soul, our skills, because we are equipped, emotionally speaking, for that as women. So we really have all the skills and the competencies there. We just have to use them for the benefit of other communities. And you don't need to start big. You can just start with the first people that are in your first circle. This is something that you can start with. This kind of people that you have access to with the resources that you have at hand. You don't need to have like the whole budget to start something. Slowly, all these people, the right people, are going to come with you, and this is the call that Monica is sharing with us today. And I feel so honored, really, Monica, that we are concluding this series with this speech, with this presentation, and with this commitment. This is amazing. And I think that we have something there in the chat, Gladys.
Yes, it's Dania Renata says, Monica, thank you so much for this great contribution. You are an inspiration to act, doing everyone the best from inside to outside. Thank you for your call to action. Everyone is saying thank you, that they love you, that they had difficulty logging in, but they are going to see everything, that they really have a high impact. And it's amazing how you are going. Basically, you are reaching so many countries, and you gave us a story, like a timeline of everything that has happened in the past, in the present, and we're ready to really integrate to all that global community. And thanks to Ideli with her vision that she has. And we have like 2 more minutes. I don't know if we have anyone would like to make a comment or ask a question. Wow. How do you feel, Monica? Do you have any last comment or any, to make this closing, beautiful woman? You are really an example and a leader to everyone.
I would just like to say to Ideli, I told her yesterday, this is just the start of greater things. I would love us to take this conversation to a different level, because it's important that every girl child out there should know her worth, should know who she is, should stand her ground, and should be authentically herself.
Okay. People are saying, can we have some more of these webinars? They want to have more. So I know this is the beginning, and you can count with us, Monica. We have you have all the support from Ideli, from Guapalita, and from all of us around the world. So wow, now you're worldwide. You are really, they're saying that you're really an inspiration. And it's amazing how we can all connect with that really strong will that we have, and with all those skills, like Ideli was saying, people are saying this was amazing. I learned a lot about women and their impact in leadership and development and society. Thank you, Monica. We all love you. We send you all our love. We congratulate you on behalf of Guapalita, and Ideli is there also almost crying. I mean, we're all so excited, and we love you. Ideli, thank you for being the one that started all that movement. And Monica, you're getting lots of hearts, lots of flowers, lots of love. May you always remember that March 27 is to really empower yourself and everyone. And today you're in another level,
Thank you so much, Gladys.
You are a light for everyone, okay?
And
Well, thank you, Ideli. You want to close?
Thank you, Gladys, for such amazing moderation. Thank you for your support. I know, and Gladys woke up like super early today, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and she was ready like 6:30 in the morning from Monterrey, Mexico, and starting with this webinar at 7 a.m. From Monterrey, Mexico. Thank you so much for these efforts and this commitment, Gladys, with our series. And Monica, this is not going to be the last time. For sure. It's not going to be the last time. And actually, when I was hearing your whole storytelling and the way you were just talking and sharing your message, this matching so much with other model in our leadership program, because at the end, we have this call for contribution to other society. And this is exactly what you are just calling. This is exactly what you go try to let us know, that it's not enough only to set emotions, well, to have these emotions or to set some thoughts, is to really take all this into an action. And this is basically the message. We have to start with our first circle. We have to start with what we have. And for sure, you're going to be with us in some of our programs. And we're going to talk in some other moment about it, of course. And you guys are going to have more from Monica, of course. And Gladys also, you're going to be interacting with this, because Gladys also has something interesting to share for all our community. Here we have some other people that says, this was amazing. I learned a lot about women and their impact in leadership and development of society. Thank you, Monica. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Gladys. Thank you, Monica. And well, I feel so happy and so satisfied for concluding in this way. So big hugs and kisses.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.